Hello, everybody. Drew here, tip of the Mint Flips, where I'm a stay-at-home dad and a part-time eBay reseller. And every 100 subscribers, there is a giveaway. So make sure you are subscribed. One Foot Flipper, how's it going? Ping G, nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Let people file in a little bit if that's a thing that happens. I'll be a little shorter today. I'm going to try to lose the glasses, see if I can still see. A little short today because I have plans to make some poutine for dinner, and that's calling my name already. Dark Toy Lord, welcome in. So I tried to figure it out, but I couldn't, or I haven't yet. I have to pick a service. So it's either got to be StreamYard, OBS. That's part of the problem is I got to pick which one is going to work best in order to screen share, have guests eventually, things like that. But I don't want to go in like half knowing what I'm doing. So unfortunately, I still can't screen share. I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to go over and share. But generally, I just kind of wanted to start off the video with talking about how the macroeconomic view, which has been around the channel for a while, I talk about this stuff all the time because it worries me on a daily basis. It's bad. Some of the major points that are worrying me the most is usage of credit cards. It's going through the roof, just exponentially up. Delinquency on all credit going through the roof, highest it's been in a decade, and not really looking to stop. And it's if I could share the chart, what it looks like. It looks like a blip because it was so low because interest rates were zero, money was easy, but it has doubled. Even though it's only up like 1.25%, it's doubled, and it's going up straight. It's going parabolic. And rolling with the stones, how's it going? I don't want to be doom and gloom, but we all are small business owners. So this stuff really worries me for myself, for all of you out there. That's why I mentioned before, everybody wants that dream of a brick and mortar store, but don't do it. Don't do it. Because people don't open a brick and mortar when things are bad. They open a brick and mortar when times are good, money is cheap, things are easy to come by. And then the bad time hits, they go, oh yeah, that's why this building has been vacant for 5-10 years, and I got it for so cheap. Because a business model, no matter what the business is, doesn't function in the small town, like my small town. I've seen it fluctuate twice, where my downtown becomes completely empty. Stores are just nothing in them, just void. Then the next town over, same thing. Shopping centers, completely empty. And then there'll be a nice boom in the economy. Everyone thinks they got a great plan. They open a business. They get cheap rates. And then bad times hit. They have to put some stuff on credit. They run out of the credit line at their bank, and they got to go to credit cards, and it all snowballs further and further. Because when you got a brick and mortar, you still have to buy the receipt paper. If you got a bad month, you still have to pay the bills. And if there's no money coming in, where are you getting that money? Credit. And then it snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. TRB Collectibles. Hey, how goes it? How is your fourth quarter? My fourth quarter so far is, I would say, lower than expected, but good enough. I've been oddly successful, with my local marketplace. If you've caught any videos recently, I was unaware of the demand for retro consoles, and I've just had them sitting around for some of them since last summer. I don't know why. I've just been avoiding it. But I think it was mostly because I don't like dealing with consoles on eBay because then I feel the necessity to disassemble them, clean them, work them over inside out so that it can't get to them and then there be an issue. Whereas when I sell at local marketplace, they show up, I can plug it into a TV if they want, say, here, it works. I get the money, you get the thing. What happens once you leave this door, that's your own problem to deal with. Um, so I'm going to try to target some consoles, even if it's just a quick flip. Even if I pay up a little bit just to make a $50 on it or something. I think I might try to do that. We'll see. Flipping for change. Hey, y'all. Seeing some new names in here. That's awesome. So yeah, I don't want to go on and on without being able to share all the charts and stuff that I wanted to. It'll be something we pick up again some other time. But just if you're not aware of it, if you're not paying attention to it, you should. If it's just I always try to remember that for some people it is just a hobby. If it's just something you like to do for fun, where you like to hit estate sales and garage sales on the weekend and you make a little money, then just keep going. Everything's good. Don't worry about your sales going up and down. If you got a full-time income and it's just side money, don't even worry about it. Just have fun and go on with your life. But if it's your business, you need to be aware that things still can get worse. I know for some people they're having a great fourth quarter so far. Like I said, mine's it is what it is. Probably a little bit my own fault. I think I could probably take some blame there. Listing some stuff I probably should have waited till later, till I ran out of better stuff, that kind of thing. But I don't know. I'll figure it out. I always do. Let's see what's up here. TRB collectibles, brick and mortar, really unneeded expense. Yeah, I mean, I was talking with my father the other day. I say don't do it, but there's a point where when my kids are older that I might put in the works. You never know. I can't even plan out 5 years from now what my life's going to look like. Things you try to, but things change so quickly. But in my town specifically, I could do a buy, sell, pawn shop type of thing and be very successful because I live in a poor area. I could do that. And then the larger items that I don't want to mess with, but I know are worth money and I know people would pay for, I would have a place for those. My business, I could work out of there. So the eBay end of it would be paying for the rest of it. And then, so I could see a path where it would work in my specific situation, but people get too worked up in the fantasy of it, where, especially one foot, you could probably chime in on this too. Like card stores, there's the big boom in cards and all of a sudden everybody wants to open a card store. Or even another thing is people will open second locations. Their business doing good. Okay, we're doing good. Let's open a second location. No, just too good. But card stores are closing everywhere across the board. Stop. I know we always end up back on the same stories every time. But people, they're closing their doors. Car stores are just shutting down selling Magic the Gathering because Hasbro has shot themselves in the foot. But it's the stock market is giving people a skewed view of the reality of what's out there right now because it keeps going up, but that's because it's manipulated and it's disgusting because we don't live in a true free market economy. And I am a free market capitalist. I believe that if you just let the money do the money, it all works out. I don't know, but we got a celebrity in the house. We got Mikhail from the infamous Mikhail mystery boxes. 1 foot for tax insurance reasons. I'm actually hoping the rest of my year goes poorly. Well, you're in a good spot then. If your year went that good that you're hoping to slow it down, you need to. Well, the thing is, you were being too frugal with your new vehicle. Should have bought brand new. Write-off. Everything's a write-off, right? Let's see. 1 foot again. Half the car stores in my area folded in the last few years. Yeah, everybody went in huge. Oh, everything's going up forever. That's not how life works. I'm not even that old, and I'm aware that's not how life works. I've been through 2 economic collapses, and I'm not even 40. It's insane. It overwhelms my brain because I can't stop thinking about it. And then you throw in, political baloney and global turmoil, and the Chinese real estate market collapsing, which they own our debt. So if it collapses and they want to call in on the debt, like it's all not, it's everybody gets so zoned in on their little thing. It's all interconnected globally, and it's all hanging on by a thread, and it terrifies me. And I don't have good advice. Like I talk about it constantly. I'm hoping that enough people talk about it, we get it figured out. But really, as long as the people who are currently in charge of the money are still in charge of the money, it ain't good. It ain't good. There's not a really clear path out. Dark Toy Lord, I'm all set with brick and mortar. Would like to be an eBay shed reseller. Right now, I have an inventory in almost every room of the house. Yeah, that can be overwhelming. I always feel bad for the people who want to resell, but they live in an apartment, and it ends up just taking over a room or multiple rooms or your dining room table or a little bit of all of it. But when you got limited space, you got to be real tight on those death piles. Excuse me, sorry. Because it'll snowball on you. Just you gotta list it, and even it'll get to a point if you work in a small space where you just got to cut it off and let the stuff sell a little bit. You can't if you got no place to put it, and if the money coming in doesn't make sense to get a storage unit or a shed or anything like that, everyone goes, okay, well, as long as I have this bigger space, now I'll just level up and I'll get there. That's not always how it works. That's a fallacy I fell into when I was making a certain amount of money. I said, okay, my other job is, of course, taking up most of my time, and I have good inventory. If I just had the time, I could level up. And it's not, when you first start, the curve of your earnings, of your profits, is pretty exponential because you're listing your best stuff, and it's just every time you list stuff, it's going good and it's going good. But eventually it stops doing this, and it starts to curve off a little bit, and it becomes a slow grind, a slow climb. Not saying don't do it, just realize that curve, the steepness of it really tapers off the more dollars you're dealing with, the more inventory you're dealing with, because you'll get to a time where I can't even list today because I have too many orders to ship, and then that becomes its own problem. Flipping for change. I feel like fall updates finally hit my store. Was having steady daily sales and offers. Now nothing since the 18th. Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I kind of like I did with eBay's customer service. I don't deal with it anymore. I don't try to figure out the glitches and all that kind of stuff because it's all the time. There's always a new thing, and it doesn't affect every store, and it's kind of like, but eBay's it's a juggernaut. The system itself is huge. It's been rolling for, I don't know when eBay started, but late 90s. And the system has been rolling and rolling. It's not like when your bank does an update and they're like, okay, the website will be down from this date to this date, blah, blah, blah. They have to change the wings on an airplane while it's in the air. So I get some of that and why there is always an issue somewhere. But I was a lot of people, I was driving myself crazy trying to figure it out. What do I do? What do I do? And I watched a video today. I won't say who it was, but every video is their theme of their channel is what do I fix today? Every video is a new thing. What do I fix today? I'm going to try this, da, 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 da. It's every single video. I watch it because every once in a while they manage to come up with something good. But the one today, I was like, what are you talking about? Going back through old listings to like tinker with, I won't even go into details because he's a big enough channel. You probably figure out who it is, but sometimes you just got to keep going. You just can't waste your energy on it. You just gotta keep going. Flipping that for change. Love that eBay roller coaster. Yeah, exactly. It's a roller coaster. I mean, and sometimes it's stuff outside of the platform, outside of your control. All you can do is do it the best you can with the information you have, and keep going. And eventually, hopefully, they figure it out. would not doubt. Earnings call for eBay is, I think, November 1st or November 2nd. I will be, unfortunately, listening to the whole thing. That'll probably be the topic of the next live. Maybe I'll stream during it, but they're really boring. So maybe I'll watch it and then give like a surmised version of it. But I hope it's bad. I hope their earnings call is terrible, like in the toilet, tanks the stock. For one, I'll buy more stock. I do own eBay stock. When it gets cheap, I buy it because the things you use and know are usually some of the best things for you to invest in because you know them. But if it's bad enough, I think this CEO, just like the other past 3 in the last 10 years, gone. It's been just a total nightmare, a collapse. Oh, high-end shoes and purses. Oh, let's invest in a bunch of stuff that is going to collapse because it's in a bubble. Just a nightmare. Ping G, Dark Toiler, I had a warehouse space. I was paying $1,200 a month. My son talked me out of renewing the lease. Now I have inventory in all the bedrooms, dining rooms, family rooms, and garage. Yeah, that's expensive, though. $1,200 a month? Wowzers. You could probably rent a spare bedroom in someone's house for less than that. You could probably Airbnb a spare room for less than $1,200 a month, depending on your area, though. My area, it's not cheap because we have so many seasonal residents. So actually, it's a pretty good moneymaker to have storage units. If you find space, they pop up all the time. There's a new one built every year. But I lucked out. A friend of mine, he had just bought a building where there's actually a shipping company, took half the building, and then he just had like a couple of storage units. And I said, I will take the storage unit till the end of time if you give me a good deal. And he did, and I will have it till the end of time. I won't tell you what I pay because the people next to me do not pay that much. I mean, they pay more. Mark Livermore. Hi, Drew. I stopped watching the news every night. Never been happier. Yeah, I can't watch news. I do consume news, but I get it from YouTube very selectively. X, formerly Twitter, very, very selectively. Because I do like to be informed, but I also hate being lied to. So, and I'm not going to get political on one side or the other. It's all of it lies. No matter where you get it from, it's through a filter of whoever pays their bills, and it's a nightmare. I can't stand it. And this isn't a new thing. That's the part that I think people misunderstand is it's not new that the news is manipulated. It's just new that people in masses figure it out and are able to talk to each other in real time. Because it used to be it would get printed in a newspaper and you and your neighbor might be like, this seems weird. But now it gets put on the internet or whatever, and instantly they can get called out with proof, with receipts. So it's not a new thing. It's just new to be able to call it out in real time. TRB Collectibles, I think if you have that much inventory, you can now focus only sourcing high dollar while your inventory sells down. Yeah, I get sucked into where I'll go, okay, just don't get it unless it's good, unless it's really good stuff. But then, you're like, okay, but this will pay for my gas. Yeah, well, this will pay for my lunch. It pays for the trip. I don't want to walk out of here empty-handed. And I go through the same thing, and I get an argument with myself. And usually what I do is I'll put everything that I may buy in the cart. And then depending on, excuse me, I'm just stuck in the burps here. Depending on how well that sourcing trip went, I'll peel back a little bit. Like, okay, well, good thing I found this other stuff because I definitely didn't want to buy this anyways. Not a good idea, but at least it helps me. Okay. I make sure to check before I leave, double check some conditions, go, okay, well, this is better. Let's just put this back. Cause I almost like I have to walk out with something, and that's not good. It's just how I am. Where am I at? 1 Foot Flipper. I don't believe anything eBay does on the back end keeps customers from buying. Yeah, I only the glitches where, because I've had this myself happen where your listing just doesn't appear. That's the only one that where I'm like, this is stupid. But those are temporary. So yes, you may have lost out on that sale right in that moment, but does that mean that no one's ever going to look at your listing ever? Are they? I've never heard of somebody having a listing that's just gone forever. Like I've had it happen a couple of times where I'm like, why isn't this showing up? Tinker with the listing, or I just check it later and then it's back. TRB Collectibles 1995. That I'm guessing that means the year eBay started. So yeah, since 1995, the website has been live, ebay.com. So changing things, you have to expect things to go wrong. It's going to happen because, like I said, it's like changing the wings on a plane in flight. Not that you don't have to like it. I don't like it. I wish it worked smooth all the time. I wish they would just do away with all the fee structure and just go back to charging per listing. It would solve two problems. It would solve everyone complaining about fees, because if it's not worth listing and paying for that listing, you won't list it. And it will solve eBay having to deal with the fact that there is thousands and tens, hundreds of thousands of items listed on their site that will never sell, because no one's going to list it for whatever it is, 10 cents, 20 cents, an item that's junk. They're not going to. Well, some people will, but inevitably they'll run out of money. Let's see. 1 Foot Flipper, James. I don't even watch him, and I already know who it is. I don't know his real name, so you might be right. I'll check later, and I'll let you know if you're right. Mark Livermore, I did see your console bundles on local Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, they all sold. I sold and I sold a book lot too. But I sold a GameCube, Wii bundle, second Wii bundle. I'm waiting to hear back from somebody, but it should be gone within a couple days. And did I say PS2? And then a second PS2. I was just waiting for the cords to arrive. I already have somebody waiting to buy it. And then also the bass guitar. It should be sold, but until the money's in my hand, who knows? But it's been, I should have done it a long time ago. I've been jaded by Marketplace, but I needed to figure out that I need to list the right things on Marketplace. And so what that is expensive items at a deal. I can't expect to get eBay prices, and I can't sell $10 items on Marketplace, because anytime I answered is this still available message, now I've wasted my time and lost all the profits in time. Mod and Pop Thrift. Did I catch a live? Yes, you did. Congratulations on the new baby, sir. Any of you that don't follow Mod and Pop Thrift, he just had his wife just had their 6th child. So go support their channel after the live is done. Give them a thumbs up and a subscribe and stuff. 6 children. 6. Yeah. I got 3, and that's a lot. And he doubled it. I didn't get to finish the video. I started the video where you were in the hospital. Did you have a boy, girl, name? Let us know. The size of the baby. I don't know why people always want to know that. What's the size of the baby? Dolly General. I like your name, Dolly. Hello from a seedy little trailer park on the unincorporated part of Sesame Street. Well, Dolly General, welcome in. I love your name. That's cool. Dolly General. TRB Collectibles. If you think that's going to happen, then you should short the stock, make that money on the loss. Yes, unfortunately, shorting a stock, you need a lot more capital than I deal with. I mean, unless I just want to sell the shares that I have, but I don't want to do that. I don't like to short. It comes with more risk, and it comes with more. It needs more attention than I can give to my portfolio to short stocks, which I give it a lot of attention, but you need like on top of it attention. Um, Ping G, I began that at least 20 years ago. It started at $5.50 a month. Rents in SoCal. Oh, that's why. Yeah, SoCal are expensive, and this was the cheapest. I love saving $1,200 a month since I have no house payment. Yeah, I say it all the time. One of the easiest ways to make more money is to save money. Sometimes you're just throwing money away at something. I'm not saying you're throwing money there, but also if it's taking over your house, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there is a good solution there, but Southern California, that's just nothing's cheap. I don't know how people do it. You're making more money than me, that's for sure. And that's another thing. That's why I always, because most of you probably know this is my full-time gig outside of some side hustles I do. But I always say that I'm a part-time eBay reseller because I don't want what I do to skew people's perception of what they need to be doing to make a full-time income. I live in a very poor area. The cost of living is pretty minuscule compared to other places. And I just have been not smart my whole life, but the last decade, I've been pretty smart about my money. So I have a house fully paid for, completely paid for. I have a car completely paid for. I have no debts, no school debts, no nothing. I have minuscule credit card debt that I use to buy things. I get my cash back rewards. I pay it off that day. I pay my credit card daily, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So I don't deal with debt. Like I said, cost of living is very little. So I don't want people to watch my channel and go, oh, I could do what he's doing. I could quit my job. Depends on where you are. Like even not just Michigan, but like if you lived in a bigger city than I live in Michigan, you could not survive on the money I make. Mark Livermore, 100% lies. Yeah, no matter where, lies. I'm assuming you were talking about the news there. Jay, hey Jay, haven't seen you in the comments in a while. The Lego Bug, hello my friend. Lego Bug, you were the one that said that you watch with your coworkers, I think that's what you had said. Terry Laurie, have you considered taking a half a day to drive to Petoskey and Charlevoix and check out their Goodwill stores? They are higher end communities than Sheboygan. Leave at 9 and get home by 1. I used to, my old job, I worked in Petoskey. I serviced the Petoskey, Charlevoix, East Jordan area. Most of you don't know where these places are, but they're small towns in my area, but with bigger money. The Petoskey Goodwill, it was okay. It just wasn't good enough for me to change how I was doing things at the time. But I am going to do that soon. I'm going to build up a map of, try to build a nice route, maybe do that side one of the state one day and do the other side, like the Alpena, Rogers City side another day. I think I'm going to start doing that probably first of next month, sometime in there. So in like a week, I'm going to start branching out. Because with Jen listening with me a little bit, and we've been really good at not buying. I've been really good at not buying a bunch of extra stuff. So, but I do need inventory, and I need to find a way to get better at inventory. And also, I think if I do more travel vlog sourcing videos, that those on YouTube will do very well. Sourcing videos do phenomenal. I hate making them. they're so boring to edit. I just hate it because there's so much downtime. I mean, not that you guys care about that, but it's just I know they'll be good for me. I know I'll get a ton of views on them. I'll probably get a bunch of subs, but I just hate making them. I really do. But that is the plan. I'll do one close. I have tons of friends all over the state, so I could even do trips. I could do A Grand Rapids thrift trip. I could do a Detroit area thrift trip, Upper Peninsula. I got a cousin that lives in Marquette. I could make it a thing. Weather in about a month, though, does become a big problem. Andy, so meta, mod, ping, how do you do? Ping G, hi, Andy. And by next time, I will figure out a new streaming overlay service. I was talking about this today. Like, YouTube's doing a big push. They want podcasts, they want live streaming, but their live streaming abilities are non-existent. The options are I can stream. I can't do overlays, nothing. Screen share, like just real simple stuff. They'll probably add that eventually, but maybe not because the outsourced services are pretty good. If they did it, they'll probably charge for it. So yeah, they probably will do it actually. Craig M. Rog, hello, young man. Lions stub their toe versus Ravens. That game was an embarrassment, but I had that game on my every year before the season just to see. I marked down what I think our record is going to be, where the wins and losses are going to be, and I had that marked down as a loss. Ravens at home always play tough. The wind was out of control. They will feel much better after they hand out a Raiders spanking Monday night. Yeah, that's the thing. They'll bounce right back. Good stuff from you as always. Sales trickle along. Yeah, you almost want a loss like that on a team that has potential to go on a long run. So they don't get lackadaisical, so that they have stuff to study in the film room, so they have stuff to call players out on that have been playing well. You want a kick in the teeth, but that was an embarrassment. Just an embarrassment. But I had it down as a loss. I bet the Ravens, so I know that's sacrilege to bet against your team, but I like money. TRB Collectibles, that low dollar stuff you need to move to Whatnot, unload it, and move on. Well, I've talked too much junk about Whatnot probably to go over there now, but I am going to start clearing some of it out. Probably I'm going to do some like toy lots, stuff like that, just because I'm starting to need the space a little bit. But that is a plan to start closing out some of that lower dollar stuff that's been in the store for a little bit. I'm not against selling lower dollar stuff. I mean, right here. I'm probably going to list this if it's complete. Yes, this one's complete. I'll probably list this. It's probably $9.99. It'll probably take somewhere between 1 week and 5 years to sell. But inevitably, I'm going to list them all. They store pretty well. They cost me nothing, and they trickle in. But I figured out the other day, it's like it's something crazy. I sell one for like every 50 I list. So I can't spend a lot of time until that's all I have left. Or if I'm doing like a live listing thing, it's a good thing because it's right here. I can do it while I'm talking. Just kind of filler stuff. But you are right. Some of that lower dollar stuff has to go. Probably not going to do Whatnot. Like I said, just because I've talked so bad about Whatnot, they probably wouldn't have me. Mikhail, do you plan on cross-listing in the future? I really don't. Unless one of the services becomes fully automated. That's the only way I'll probably ever do it. I watch other channels who do it, and they're like, oh yeah, well, I got a sale here and I got a sale here, and it's always I got 10 sales on eBay and I got one on Poshmark and I got one on Mercari. I got 25 sales on eBay, I got 2 on Poshmark, I got 1 on Mercari. And yes, you wouldn't have got those 3 other sales if you weren't cross-posting. What do you guys say? Do you say cross-posting or cross-listing? But you could have spent the time you spent doing that, listing more on eBay. And now if you're doing it because you're worried about the state of eBay and you want to diversify, I get it. But if it's because you want it to make you more money, I just don't see it. Maybe for specific niche like clothing sellers, I could see where clothing sellers would want to be on all platforms. That makes sense to me. And I should have brushed my beard. I look hazard over here. And what is this? I'm a young man. What is happening here? 1 Foot Flipper, the best marketplace customers are the ones who text you that they are on the way and then vanish. Yeah, that's a good one too. Andy Someta, congrats to Tom, by the way, if you're still here. Flipping for change. Oh, congrats. What a blessing. Mod and Pop Thrift. That's Tom right there. She is beautiful. Ruby Danielle, 8 pound, 15 ounces, 9.75 inches. That's wonderful. Congrats to you guys. Seriously. I was not I was gonna be like the cool uncle. That was my plan in life. I was gonna travel the world. I did some of that. I was just gonna live the bachelor life, probably. That was my plan. That wasn't like oh yeah, I don't really feel like doing it. That was my plan. And as soon as I had a kid, I was like, oh, why did I waste my life? This is the best. Hardest thing in the world, but also the best thing in the world. Like, no joke. I tell people all the time. I tell younger kids all the time. I said, no, don't do that. High school sweetheart, sure. Yeah, people try to talk you out of it. No, get married, have kids, live a wonderful life. Don't let other people tell you how your life should be. Don't let TikTok and Instagram tell you. No. Find a person, have some kids, live a good life. Let's see. David Leffler, huge fan from Canada. I'm close by Port Huron, Michigan. Sorry about your Lions yesterday. I'm an Eagles fan, but was rooting for your team. Yeah, Port Huron, you're actually south of me, so you're one of those Southerners. But actually, David, now you mentioned you're Canadian. I'm not going to stick around too late because I got some poutine calling my name. So that's a Canadian dish that I'm glad migrated its way to Michigan. Furlong Pole Treasures. Hi, Drew. Love your content. Well, Furlong, thank you so much. TRB Collectibles. Take that money, invest the unused capital, mostly dividend stock, CDs. So when you need that money for big buy, you have it plus more. Yeah. Or even right now, you could like treasury bonds, you get, what is it? Short yield treasuries, you're getting 4.5%, 5%, something crazy for like a 90-day treasury. Gotta wet my whistle. Yeah, and another thing people forget is when you are positioning your investments, cash is a position. Sometimes cash is your best friend. But right now, yes, short-term treasuries are pretty good. Dividend stocks, I don't search them out, but when they're cheap, I will jump on them for sure. You know, because dividend stocks, you're not looking for huge growth potential. So basically, you just want to get in on them when you're not going to lose money and ride out the dividend. I'm always shocked. I'll be like, what is this money? And I'm like, oh yeah, dividend, great. Furlong Pole Treasures. Would you sell less items if you priced your $9.99 free shipping, $5.99 plus shipping? No, I think I would sell less of them. Because I get a decent amount of international because of my free shipping items. I do ship a lot of my smaller items to the West Coast, where that little bit of money can be a big difference, especially because for those of you who don't know, I do free shipping on anything under a pound, on anything that used to be first class, which I might change that to any, because the brackets are for USPS 4 ounce, 8 ounce, and then 12 and above, I think. But whatever that top bracket is, I might stop doing free shipping on those specifically. But the other side of it is it's because it's so it makes it so much faster because I pick up the thing and I'm like, oh, this is under a pound. I don't think about it. If something's under a pound, when I'm doing the shipping, I put 8 ounces, 10, 10, 10, or I'll do 8 ounces, 8, 8, 8 for the size. I'll punch in the actual thing when I go to ship it out anyways, because I don't know exactly what it's going to weigh. I don't know what package I'll probably put it in. Usually I do. It's usually a poly bag. But I just for speed, 8, 8, 8, 8 across the board, listed, on to the next thing. And I don't even worry about it. So it would take a little more time, but again, also if I pick up an item and it's close to a pound, I still also can tell that. And I might start doing that going forward. Because that last bracket for what used to be first class can actually be pretty expensive from me to the West Coast, like close to $7. Where am I at? Andy, so meta, sometimes it works the other way around too. TRB Collectibles, I am a full-time reselling in New York City. That is cool. I've been to New York one time. I never got into the city. We were on like a neighborhood farmhouse type of thing, and it was gorgeous. It was just like being here. It felt like home. Mod and pop thrift, but it also for me felt like a huge city because my town is very small. I think, like I said before, I think it's under 5,000 people. I'll have to double check. Mod and pop thrift. I prefer making the source videos over the what sold videos. Yeah, I guess what I should do is maybe rethink how I make the sourcing videos. Like maybe I just make shorter ones, because I've seen that sometimes where sourcing videos, they'll be 10 minutes long. And most of my content I put out is, 20, 30 minutes plus. And my older stuff, it was always 30 minutes plus. I didn't edit out the pauses as much and the gaps. But maybe if I shorten how the content is created, or I just switch how I do it, maybe I can produce it faster, and then it won't matter as much. I don't know. Maybe I'll switch to, when I'm sourcing, do it from my phone instead of my GoPro. And then that way I can maybe edit on the fly even. I don't know. I have to figure it out because I plan on doing it. But because when I go garage sailing, I put the GoPro on, I bring 3 batteries and 2 SD cards, and I get out of the car on, I get in the car off. And then it can be 6 hours of footage to go through, and I'll break it up sometimes. But when it's hours of footage, and it can be really daunting to make a 40-minute video, and you're spending a half a day. It's too much. So I guess that's what I got to do. I got to figure out how to make the video and not make it that way. That seems simple. Dark Toy Lord, keep telling my wife we should move to a more affordable location. Problem is that we bought the house that has been in her family since it was built back in 1890. So I'm stuck here until I get it. But my house also roughly built in 1890, because when I was remodeling, oldest newspaper I found was from, I want to say 1892, something like that. But my house was moved to this location, and it was moved before there were semi trucks and abilities to move things like that. So it was moved rolling on logs with horses. Or maybe here's the other option. They could have waited till wintertime, and it was moved on skis with horses. Either way, pretty wild. Carrie Gilmartin, hi everyone. Hey Carrie, how you doing? 1 Foot Flipper, the more people cross list, the more of a race to the bottom it is with eBay still on top. Yeah, I'm also leery of, not all these platforms will make it. Yahoo Auctions. It's not like a platform can't fall off. Most likely, I assume one of them will buy out another one. That would be my guess, is that one of the smaller ones just buys out the other one. They bring it together, that kind of thing. eBay bought TCG Player. People, especially right now, large companies, when times are bad, they gobble up those little companies. They love it. Mod and Pop Thrip, I say cross wasting time. Yeah, people say it works for them, but I've never heard anyone who's not getting paid say it is something you need to do. I mean, even a specific example of someone who doesn't get paid for it and is doing it, but I watch the videos, is Shed Flips. I love Shed Flips. I've been watching Shed Flips since it was Garage Flips. Lonnie is my dude. We've had very few interactions, but since I started reselling, I watched his channel because I was like, I would hang out with this guy. That's how I pick the resellers I usually watch. I'm like, I would hang out with you. You seem like my guy or girl or whatever, like this seems like a person I would enjoy their company. And he's been doing the cross listing with, I think, List Perfectly. They're not, I don't think it's a sponsorship thing. But I think because they have two people working, that they can part out a lot of that, office work type of stuff, checking emails, answering YouTube messages, ordering supplies, all that kind of stuff. When it's just you, that time is really thin. Like if I have to order supplies, there's, an hour of my day because I got to go do an inventory of stuff, check what I need. And I like to do it all at once. I like to order a bunch. Then when it comes in, I got an hour of taking it out to storage, filing it away, which storage unit, for any of you guys that followed that story, I need to finish that one because it is done and it is awesome. Where are we at? TRB Collectibles, have you fully separated your business from your personal bank accounts yet? Once I did that, buying things without having to think twice became a lot easier. I haven't, only because, and I don't like to talk dollars, but only because I don't make enough money where it matters. I don't need to. And I'm very good with my money flow. I've just always been really good at money. My first job was when I was, I don't know, how old can you be when you get a paper route? 12, 11? When the day I was old enough to get a paper route, I was pounding on the door saying, I want a paper route. They said, we don't have one for you. And then the next day I would come back and say, hey, I want a paper route. And I did that over and over again until I had one. That was a terrible job. I got paid 5 cents a paper. All the papers had to be delivered before I went to school. I live in northern Michigan. I would have to walk in below zero, then go home and get ready for school. I've been hustling. But my checks would pile up in my drawer because I was like, I don't have anything to spend these on. If I cash them, I might spend it. And I would have like 10 checks just sitting in my drawer for like $5 each. What a ripoff that was. Then I switched to a Shopper's Fair route, which is on the weekends, and I got 15 cents a paper. That was much better. Where are we at? TRB Collectibles, do you still have a dream of traveling? If so, where would you go? Top 3. Yeah, I love traveling. Love it. It's just, with the family, it's just so much money. Because when I would travel before, I spent a month in Eastern Europe. That's because I had friends in Eastern Europe, and I had to get a plane ticket and some spending cash, and I had a place to stay the whole time. I didn't have to pay for a room. Half the time they had a vehicle. I didn't have to know where I was going, and we would do a little short trips here. But I could spend a whole week just hanging out at their house and just chilling, and we'd go walk downtown and have coffee and, just hang out in their town, which is nothing to them. But for me, it was just a beautiful new place. Or like I have a friend that lives right outside Miami. I bought it was crazy cheap Spirit Airlines ticket for like $60. I brought like $200, spent $60 on an airplane ticket, and spent 10 days in right outside Miami because I had a couch to crash on. But when you got a family, it's, tenfold that money, 20-fold. because you can't do that. You can't do anything close to that. But if I had, oh yeah, you did have a question in there. Top 3. Let's see. Wow, that is a hard one. Honestly, Mexico is oddly on top of my list. Not number 1, but just because I've been to southern Texas so many times where I could see Mexico and just never cross the border. So I don't, for some reason, I'm like, I have to do it. It'd be like the people who live in my area, which is a couple hours from Canada to the north and 4 hours to Canada to the south. But there's people that live in my area, never been to Canada. There's people who never crossed the bridge, which is a 15-minute drive, which there's a bridge that connects the lower peninsula to the upper peninsula. And then here is Canada. It's hard to point. Up there is Canada. I forgot I had a map behind me. So Mexico would probably be 3rd. That's real tough. I'd love to, it wouldn't be really fun, I don't think, but I'd love to go to Egypt. I'm really into the pyramids. I'm obsessed with the fact that they are rewriting history, human history, not like recent history. Like the existence of humans is getting rewritten now as we speak. They're discovering things daily that changes everything we thought we knew. But it's desert. I don't like being that hot. I don't want to be in a desert. It sounds dirty and dusty and none of that. Riding a camel, none of that sounds appealing. But I just, the knowledge of it, I would love to go there. And then, I don't know, I'd love to just go back to Europe. I loved it. I went to Macedonia, Romania, Italy, Turkey. We were supposed to go to Greece. We were supposed to get a villa on the beach in Greece, but there was an earthquake right before we left, and where our hotel was fell into the ocean. Like, no joke. There was a terrible earthquake, and that trip got canceled. But I would like to just go back, just see more of where it was. Where are we at here? David Leffler, you also have Tim Hortons in Michigan, also a Canadian institution. Yeah, Tim Hortons, closest one to me is 40-minute drive, something like that. And I don't know. Tim Hortons, that's one of those things where I don't get it. I just don't get it. There's a lot of those in America too, where people are like, "Oh, this is the spot. This is the spot," and I was like, it's okay. Whatever. I'm hard to impress, I guess. 1 Foot Flipper, I charge for shipping on light items for the exact same reasons Drew doesn't charge. Yes, and I say this all the time too. I tell you the way I do my business. I'm not telling you the way to do your business. And then the other people that do tell you the way to do your business, don't listen to them. Take what I do, take what 1 Foot does, take what all the other people in the comments do, all the videos do, take all those bits and pieces and shape those into what works best for you. For you. Not you're not trying to be Craigslist hunter. And he's not telling you how to do your business. I guaranteed he would echo what I'm saying. Don't do your business like he does his business. His is very specific to his area and where he started and all that kind of stuff. But people watch that, myself included, and you go, oh, wow, that's what I want. I want a thrift, even though I just said I might open a pawn shop in 10 years. I want a pawn shop, thrift shop. But that doesn't work for everybody. Take the little bits and pieces from everybody, shape that into what works for your business, and you will have the best success, hopefully. Or if you shape it and it's not working, then figure out what bits of that you should copy from somebody else. William Simmons, I'm late, but I'm here. Whatever you're talking about, I'm pro because I saw a YouTube video on it. Yes, pro me. I like it. Old School Flips, what's up? TRB Collectibles, me too. I have been watching Lonnie since 2018. He has been great. I have not missed an episode yet. Just kind of confused as to what happened between him and Cincinnati Picker. Yeah, I remember, which I hate that I just popped my son has been doing that a lot lately. I think he's gotten it from his mother, maybe, and now it's introduced into my brain. I can't stop doing it. Um, I think whatever happened got reconciled. I don't want to dive into drama too much. I'll leave that to 1 foot to do, because there's some drama out there right now. I think it got reconciled, but there was another channel that he separated himself from at the same time. So me and FJ Treasures, because we were both big fans, and that's kind of how we linked up. We were both trying to figure out who he was talking about that he had separated himself from at the time. And it seemed like maybe both, but it was because what he had said to any of you that have watched him for a while is that it was the same time he also stopped giving shout outs to viewer buyers, viewer sales. And the episode he stopped doing it was an episode I bought stuff from him. And he said he stopped he like addressed it and said, I stopped doing it because it felt transactional. Felt like, oh, you buy a thing, I shout out your store. Which, by the way, shouting out people's stores, that's not getting you a lot of money. That's if you want to buy something from somebody, buy something from somebody. But shout outs, I don't know how much traffic that generates. I have never heard a shout out and would be like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go check out that store. I've never done that. But there was 2 channels he separated himself from at the same time, and I never figured out which one, but I don't know. It was weird. I never got answers. I probably wouldn't ask him if I ever met him either. Where are we at? Eric D, what's up, Drew? Glad the Lions got that crap show out of the way. Yeah, I was saying earlier, if you weren't here, you kind of need that kick in the teeth if you're going to go further. I think it's helpful. But I also had that as a loss. I bet the Ravens. So I actually won money. That made me feel a little better. And I was planning on them losing. That made me feel a little better. But they got embarrassed. That did not make me feel good at all. And also, we just can't stop getting injuries. Just injury after injury. Old school flips, number 1, bottom of the mitt. Are you in Ohio? Are you an Ohioan? I don't know. Might not be able to be friends anymore. Mark Livermore, Upper Peninsula is best peninsula. Well, I mean, what's its competition? Florida? Alaska? I can't speak on Alaska, but I would put it above Florida because Florida is fun, but it's also a dumpster fire. 1 foot flipper. I only dip into the drama now, just shorts. That's a good one. Yeah, because you don't want it to infiltrate your videos and your normal subscribers. You put on the shorts, which if you guys do like drama, go check out 1 foot short and then follow the drama. It's ongoing because I'll mention the one because it's facts. Rockstar Flipper. I don't know why people watch him. I'll say that outright. He'll probably try to sue me because that's his go-to. He just, I don't know. If you watch him, that's your own prerogative. But since day one, I would give it a no thank you. And like I said, if he watched this, he would probably try to sue me. That's his vibe. Oh, you mentioned me in a negative way? I'm going to send you a lawsuit. I won't go on and on because I'll get mean about it. Dark Toy Lord, I like getting the YouTube shout out every time I see my name. I'm like, hey, I'm YouTube famous now. Yeah, that part of it is awesome. You know, you get to be a part of the show you watch. Because, I mean, you guys watch me, which is super cool, and I appreciate, and it blows my mind still that people watch me. But I was on that other side before, and I still am. I mean, I got channels I watch that I kind of gush over, like Shed Flips. Like Lonnie's a rock star to me, which unfortunately he likes making videos and doing YouTube and stuff, but I don't think he likes the interactive part that much because he doesn't do like live chats. He's done them very few. I don't know. I wish maybe I'll reach out to him and maybe I can get all my viewers to flood him and say, hey, like let's get you on Drew's channel. Let's do a live or something. But I don't think he likes that part of it. I think he likes doing his thing. I also get that. TRB Collectibles, their podcast was fun, and then it just stopped around the same time RVA Flips finished reselling. Yeah, I know him and Ryan. Is it RVA Flips? Is that Ryan? No, Ryan's Thrift Mine. But I know they're still friends, and he mentions them every once in a while. But it felt like they had some type of falling out. I don't want to dive into people's personal business, but if it's kind of on YouTube, is it your personal business anymore? I don't know. It's a gray area. Eric D, Ohio, the armpit of America. Yeah. I saw a map yesterday, and it was most hated sports team by state. And there was like the Minnesota, North, South Dakota area. Like their most hated was Green Bay. And then of course, Michigan's was Ohio State and Ohio's was Michigan. And it's just, it's, you can't live in one without hating the other. And you know what it is? It's a Toledo War. It's not the sports. It's the Toledo War. Yeah. Which is how we got this thing. Yeah. We win. We're the champs. Old School Flips. Actually, I am in Ohio. It was just a joke for your number one place to visit. Oh yeah. I've been to Ohio. It's a dumpster fire. Yes, it's below us for a reason. We won the Toledo War, and we got this thing out of it. Yes, sir. We're the champs. Toledo War. Death toll of 1. There was a stabbing. Somebody did die, so that's sad. But how epic would it be? Of course, sad. But generations later, to have the only person who died in the Toledo War. It would be fun's not a good word. It'd be an interesting side note for your family's history. Mod and Pop Thrift. I gained 4 subs since you shouted me out just now. Yes, if you haven't yet, do it after the stream. Don't be leaving the live. But Mod and Pop Thrift, Tom just had his 6th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th child. So go give his channel some support. Also, Tom's a good dude. I like his channel. Again, I do not support channels unless I like them. I don't support resellers unless I like them. And by like them, I don't mean like them. Like I've had conversations with other resellers, but I don't like their content. So if I say, hey, I like this channel, it's because I like to watch it. I actually spend my time doing it, which if you watch the ones I watch, or you notice the ones I watch, they do have a general like middle-aged man dad vibe. That seems to be the running theme. Congrats, Tom. Yes, Old School Flips. Actually, I am in Ohio. It was just where did I jump around in there? I jumped around in there. The Lego Bug. How close are you to the blue ice? I took a group to see it in 2018. There's actually multiple locations you can check out the blue ice, which if you don't know what that is, Google it. It's beautiful. It's also dangerous. Dummies come and they're like, oh, it's so pretty, blah, blah. And then they climb on this stuff. It's glaciers. They're not like glaciers, but it's ice in a lake, a super big lake. But there's, up in the UP, there's better spots, but actually right here, which is kind of where I'm located, it's this kind of a general area. I'm a little further, it's reversed because of the camera, but I'm over on this side, and the Mackinac Bridge is over here, and Mackinac City is a good place to check out blue ice, but the better places are up in this area. Or I'm assuming up in this area, because this is where Lake Superior is, which is huge. And I don't mean like, oh, it's a big lake. No. It's, people see it and they go, no, that's an ocean. That can't be a lake. It's a sea. Like, no, it's a freshwater lake. It's giant. people surf it. Psychopaths surf in it. Yeah. It's usually in the wintertime because that's when the waves are bigger. So they're in full, you can also Google this, full like Arctic wetsuits, and then they usually have a beard, of course, and it'll just be iced out, just complete ice. You got to be a crazy person to do it, but it's a thing. Let's see. 1 Foot Flipper. Rockstar Flipper is a zombie channel, over 100K subs, but extremely low views for his sub count. Yeah, we talked about this the other day. Then I went back when all the drama was going on because I was like, I'll see. Whatever I was doing, I had some time. I was probably in the bathroom, to be honest. But he deleted some of those. Some of his really low, he might have caught wind of your video or something. Some of his really low sub count video, like it's still bad for how many subs he has, like real bad. I would just stop doing it at that point. I don't think I could take the climb of getting that high and then falling off like that. My psyche wouldn't be able to handle it. But some of those really low ones are gone now. Mod and Pop Thrift. My in-laws lived in Alaska for 15 years. It's awesome. Yeah, I got a buddy that he was one of my best friends in high school. He lived with at my parents' house with me for a couple of years. He's up in Alaska and he always wants me to come visit, but to go by myself seems, on any vacation, seems, I don't know, mean to my children to not take them with me. But honestly, I can't afford a vacation and take my 3 kids. It's just because we can't drive. We'd have to fly, and plane tickets ain't cheap. And I'll fly a Spirit airline. I'm not putting my children on Spirit airline. Kevin, do I need a shed to resell? You do not need a shed. You need a place to store your stuff. And if you're organized and smart about it, that place can be fairly small. Now, there are times where a shed or a storage unit becomes necessary and does make sense monetarily. But if you're going to do it and you're in it for the long haul, consider buying a shed, not renting a storage unit, if you have the property for it, of course, the space for it, but also consider saving up so you can buy the shed. Because as soon as you get, because that's how I started the video off, the debt spiral people get in, credit card debt, you miss one payment and it's a nightmare. You can never catch up. So if you can pay for it in cash, you can get a better deal. And then, you got to run the numbers. You got to know the math. How long is it going to take for me to pay for this thing if you do have to take out a loan or something? And how much money does this shed have to make me to make sense? Would it make more sense to not make more money? If the shed's going to cost you X amount and it's only going to generate an extra 5% in revenue a year, does it make sense to make that extra 5%? You got to sometimes put pen to paper. Mark Livermore, please don't tell me Old School Flips is from Ohio. I will have to figure out how to unsub at least until U of M beats them later this year. Well, Mark, there's probably some friends that are going to really roast me for this one and hate on me, but I like money. I despise Ohio State. I despise Ohio, the state, and I have a significant bet on Ohio State to win it all. So, and it's not that I think they're going to win. I think they had the best odds for someone who could possibly win. And that's how, because I don't talk about it a lot, but I do a significant amount of sports gambling. I don't shoot for the moon. It's kind of like investing. I search for ROI. I try to be closing lines. I don't want to go on a whole side tangent. I have spoke with the person I work with in possibly doing a sponsorship type video thing, but I also don't want to get people into something that they're not willing to put the work in, because you can lose a bunch of money. But it has been over a year now, and it's been fairly profitable. Let's see. Old school flips. I just moved here. I don't care about any of the sports teams here. Well, I guess that's one up for you. Where are you from originally? Maybe I'll hate that place too. I'm just kidding. It's all in fun. Let's see. Mark Livermore, just kidding. Love your channel. Two old school flips. Thanks, Mark. Mom and Pop Thrift and all Ohio got Toledo. Michigan won. Yeah. I mean, I guess at the time it was like, oh yeah, that's just like some land. Yeah, whatever. But also it was during like right before the boom of the logging industry. So I mean, real big fail. But also better off than having a ongoing war. That would have been real bad. Ozark Treasure Hunters. Howdy. How's it going, Ozark? TRB Collectibles. Is Tim Allen the official narrator of everything in Michigan? He does do a lot of Michigan stuff. I don't want to say met Tim Allen, but I have crossed paths with Tim Allen on Mackinac Island one time. I try not to I try to put myself into other people's shoes before I, make past judgment. He wasn't a nice guy, but also if you're super famous, how much do you want to interact with people when you're on vacation? And, what if you just had to say hi to 100 people earlier in your day? Like eventually you might become a little cold as a defense mechanism. Like, I don't want this person to think like, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's take up 20 minutes of my day. So our interaction wasn't enjoyable, but I didn't like press the issue. But every famous person I've ever met has not been fun. But most famous, we talked about this last time, I think last live, most famous people I've come across, I haven't pushed the issue. I'm always like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. I don't ask for a picture, signature, or anything. You can usually tell they don't want to do that. They just want to go on with their day. Like if you run into them in the grocery store, it's not like they're like, oh, let me please stop my grocery shopping. But I'm not famous. If you see me, please say hello. My face will tell you, don't talk to me. If you see me in a thrift store, my face will say, I don't want to interact with you. But that's because the only people that talk to me at thrift stores are crazy. I have or checkout people at grocery stores. For some reason, I have a face that says, please tell me about your day. I didn't say hello. I just happen to make eye contact with you and you start a conversation. I don't know what it is. It's happened to me my whole life. And then I'm at Walmart just going, okay, oh yeah, only came through this line because I have alcohol and I didn't want to have to bother the lady. Okay, yep, I don't know, I don't get it. It's every time. It happened last time I was at the thrift store. 15 minutes, and I didn't say anything. I just walked past somebody, looked at them, they just started talking to me. I was like, okay, I guess this is happening. TRB Collectibles. Oh, nope, I just read that one. 1 Foot Flipper. Once you are a reseller, ideally you never borrow another dollar again. Don't need to impress my boss at the widget factory with a new Acura. Yeah, it's build through work. Build up. Don't try to take shortcuts. That's people's huge problem. Don't take shortcuts. Some of the biggest losses I've taken was because I tried to take a shortcut. I saw let me capitalize on this. Let me push all my chips in, and I get burned. I mean, I don't like to talk about it too much. I got caught in a crypto Ponzi scheme. I don't feel bad. I'm not like, oh, poor me, because so did, I don't know, whatever it is, 500,000 other people. But just, you can't go beyond your means. And the thrift and reselling is one of the best ways to not have to go beyond your means. When you're first starting, the money you make goes back in the business 100% every single time. Because when you first start, it's not your income. It's just side hustle money. And people go, oh, side hustle money. Yeah, okay, now I'm going to go buy something nice for myself. If that's your plan, sure. You just buy one thing, you sell one thing, you go spend that money. Whatever. But if you want to grow, don't spend any of it. Work your job, take that money you're making on the side, keep track of it, put it back into the business over and over and over and over again. Exponential growth. And all of a sudden, you'll go, wow, where did this business come from? You'll shock yourself. And I get the same thing when I talk to people about investing. They're like, well, I don't really have much money, blah, blah, blah. I always go, do I look like I'm rolling in money? But no, I started with a very, very small nest egg, and I built it up, and I reinvested, and I learned more, and I found better investments, learned more, learn all the time. Always be learning with anything, not just reselling or investing, everything. If you stop learning, you're done. You might as well. I said my retirement plan is I want to be an old man eating a can of beans on a rocking chair, a rocking horse. That'd be even better. In a rocking chair, it just seems appealing to me. But once you stop learning, that's where you might as well be, because it's over. Rolling with the Stones. The shed should make you $50. That's the other thing. I want to get either using. I would use Twitch because I actually know how to use Twitch, but I know 90% of the people who watch my channel would never get a Twitch account, would never open Twitch, none of that. But I want to use one of those overlays, StreamYard, OBS, whichever one ends up working, because then I can make like GIFs and just fun stuff to do during live chats, and that'll be the first one, $50. Which if you don't know that one, go watch a thumbnail. Watch one of my videos. The thumbnail will be my adorable daughter. My youngest daughter. Furlong Pole Treasures. I'm so glad I don't have to resell full or part-time. It's way too much work. I resell as a hobby and totally enjoy the extra $500 a month, a hobby that I enjoy and make money prices. That sounds awesome. I've never done it as a hobby. It was always a goal to level up and become full-time. But to do it just as a fun hobby, that does sound enjoyable. Like, it really does. And I'm jealous for those that get to do it that way, where you go to the estate sales, you buy a couple cool things, or the garage sales, and you make a few extra bucks, and you have fun doing the thing you already were going to do anyways. Eric D, wait. You like money? Can you expand on this? Yeah, mo money. That will be the second GIF I create once I figure out how things work. Ozark Treasure Hunters. I am amazed by how everyone works out of a shed. We closed a neon sign business after 20 years to resell out of our 25 by 50 3-story building. That's pretty big. There's a lot of people to be pretty jealous of that one. I don't need the extra space because I have, like I said, the very cheap storage area, and then my attached garage that I turned into my office. I do have plans. If I end up in this house as my forever home, I will do an expansion at some point. But it won't be, the office will stay the same. I think I'll just add on, like, knock a door where, if you watch the channel, where my desk in the garage is, I'll knock a door there, build a second garage, basically, with maybe like an upper storage area type of thing. Something like that, if this ends up being my forever home. My plan right now is not, though. I plan on finishing this house, saving up some money, saving up more money, buying a second home, and then renting this one out. And only because, excuse me, it's a 1-bathroom, and it's a small bathroom. It's the worst, and it's going to get worse because I have a preteen daughter, and then once she's a teen, and then Thea is, girls start wanting to spend their whole lives in the bathroom when they're 10 years old, but so eventually it will become an issue. It'll be fighting, and it's already an issue, and we haven't even got to that point yet. Let's see where we end. William Simmons, it's a shed until you get inventory in it, then it becomes a shop. Currently, I'm doing eBay and my vinyl lettering in a 17x9 shop. It's tight, but I make it work. That's a good point right there. It's tight, but I make it work. A lot of people aren't willing to make it work. A lot of people, they want it to be comfortable. They want it to, which, yes, to a degree, everyone wants it to be comfortable. I mean, go watch, if you guys are new to the channel, go watch one of my really old videos. It was literally a brick garage, no insulation, nothing. And I would be out there in the winter with gloves and a hat and a coat. And I slowly, as I could afford it and when I could do it, I took out the garage door, built a wall and put in a regular door because I was never going to use the garage door, insulated here and there when I could. I've been covering the ceiling slowly, but even just incremental steps. But until then, it's just make it work. 40 people. All right. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Oh, wow. It's already 6:50. All right. I'll probably have to cut it at 7 o'clock. I just have so much fun doing these lives. I really enjoy this. I hate that I waited this long to start doing it, but I had to take my time, wait till I could afford that camera right there, which is wonderful. I can't remember what it's called. It's called a Insta360 Link. They're not cheap. I think a new one is like $350. I think I got that one on an auction because and this is where you got to capitalize because you guys know how eBay works. They had their auction ending at just a really stupid time, like the middle of the night. So that's how I got that one. I don't know, $250 or something like that. Because even used, no, it wasn't even that much. $175. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Because even used, they sell pretty good. But I'm going to add a link for that camera in my videos because it's good. Let's see. Let me try to speed round some of these here. Ozark Treasure Hunters. We still don't have all the space, but space we need, it seems. Yeah, sometimes expansion is necessary. It's just a lot of people want the Commonwealth Picker shed. A lot of people want that day one, and you don't get that. You don't need that. Your shed doesn't have to be pretty. It has to be functional. Go on Marketplace. You can get used sheds. You can have somebody who's trying to get rid of their shed, and it could be a piece of junk, and it needs a couple boards, but you can find them. They exist. Don't do what they sell in my town, which I'm sure they sell in all of them, rent-to-own sheds. This is a great deal my dad made. Finding money in places you don't expect. A gentleman he knows, he got a rent-to-own shed. And because of rent-to-own, he couldn't put insulation in it. He couldn't put wiring in it. He couldn't modify it because until he owned it, they could repossess it. And they did the math because the guy hadn't. I don't know why. If it was a $7,000 shed or something like that, and if he went full term on the agreement, it was like $13,500 he was going to pay on a $7,000 shed. So my dad actually wrote up a contract and said, "Hey, I will buy the shed today for the buyout price, and you pay me this amount." And so the guy ended up with a great deal, able to modify his shed, and then my dad ends up with making a bunch of money, like a boatload of money, and still the guy ended up with a way better deal. I was pretty proud of him. Let's see, because it's like I can't get him to invest in the stock market. I can't get him to. He's been reselling forever, my whole life, just like regular garage sale reselling, buying another garage sale, sell it his. Refuses to go on eBay. Refuses to sell on eBay. Drives me crazy. Speed round, and then I take forever. TRB Collectibles, and that's why you can't trust Matt Damon. Andy So Meta, we love a good old rug pull. God, what a wild ride. Yeah, yeah. It's no, nothing like a rug pull. Luckily, and I'm assuming you're talking about, the crypto Ponzi scheme. Luckily, mine was Celsius and not FTX, so I am getting a portion of my money back. But the rest of it's been a nightmare because if they just would have went to, this is very specific to basically two people in the chat. If they just would have went and liquidated everything immediately, everyone would have made out better except for the lawyers. So just a mess. Happily random reseller. I have the same experience on the subway or buses, always sitting next to crazies. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to take public transportation, but I wish my area had public transportation for the people that need it. We have, it's called Straits Ride, but it's mostly, I think mostly like old people use it, and it's very limited. Very limited. Eric D, I am that crazy. TRB collectibles. That's why I don't want to retire. I don't want my brain to shut off. Enjoy your whole life, not just the last part. Yeah, what's that saying? Youth is wasted on the young. Because when you're younger, you don't realize how much if you could convince a 16-year-old to put in the work that a 40-year-old puts in, and for the same amount of time. So, from 40 to retirement's supposed to be 65, but who gets to retire anymore? Because it's whatever. I don't want to go on a whole tangent. But if you could convince a 16-year-old to put in 20 years of work like a real adult with real bills and stuff, you could retire so young and you would outwork everyone because you're young. You could work 12-hour days, 7 days a week. You'd be fine. JD Purple Cat, my hubby built me a shed and one for him too, since our 2-car garage is full with inventory. It was cheaper building it than buying them. Yeah, if you're capable, definitely build one. Build a lean-to. If you're not capable, look it up on YouTube. Learn a new skill. Always be learning. And actually, lumber prices are starting to come down finally, so maybe that's something. Emily Johnson, fellow Michigander here, reselling for 10 years and like your channel. Well, Emily, thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you were in person, I'd say point out your place. Post-game cards. As soon as distant learning teaching was done, that space evolved to YouTube and eBay area. Sports card inventory is using them. As soon as your distant learning was done. Sports card inventory is using up my garage. Yeah, if you're by your name, post game cards, I'm assuming you do a lot of cards. I hope the market stays stable. It's been really plummeting for a while. I don't see it going back up, but I hope it just stops going down. I can't remember his name. There's a sports card channel I watch, and every one of his videos, he looks panicked. He really does. Because he recently went full time. He was doing it as a side hustle, and then he switched over, and it's rough. Ozark Treasure Hunters, I wanted to mention that I saw your live while watching on a Roku and switched to my laptop so I could comment that no YouTubers have mentioned. On Roku and switched to my laptop so I could comment that no YouTuber. I'm sorry, I'm not following what you're saying. I wanted to mention that I saw your live while watching on a Roku and switched to my laptop so I could comment that no YouTubers have mentioned. Let me go to your last comment, see if I can figure out. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ozark. I have trouble following the conversations from previous and stuff, so I'm not sure what you're saying there. TRB Collectibles, why not use your GoPro for the live? It took extra setup. And also, my GoPro has been very finicky. It's been overheating. Oh, Ozark, because 200 characters allowed. You wanted to expand what you're saying. Okay. But yeah, it's been overheating. It's been very finicky. I need another one. I want just so I can have two, but I also want another one so that in case this one dies. So I'm kind of babying it along. It was just. I also didn't want it wrapped up. I wanted something that was here. There was a lot of reasons. I watched a lot of videos on using it, on how good the quality was, what I needed to do for the setup, all that kind of stuff. And I just inevitably made the call that that a new camera was better, and I'm very happy with it. Yeah, Ozark Treasure Hunters, the people on Roku can't like and subscribe. Oh, you had more mention that people on Roku can't like and subscribe. As far as I know, I think you have many more watchers than you see. Oh, okay. So if you're streaming it like on a streaming service, okay, that makes sense. Thank you for clarifying. TRB Collectibles, why not use your... Oh, yep, already that. The people on Roku can't like and subscribe. Vicada, a lot of you guys' names I never have to say out loud. I say them in my head. So sorry if I mess them up. Vakita Gaming. Vakita, I'm going to go with that. I finally caught you live. Yes, you did. Just on the way out, unfortunately, because like I mentioned before, I'm having poutine for dinner, and I am excited. I made pork chops, potatoes, and gravy in the Instant Pot for dinner with the kids 2 nights ago, and all that's left is some gravy. So I'm going to use tater tots, not French fries. Poutine, for those that don't know, which I think most people do. Fries, gravy. I don't know if cheese is supposed to be on poutine, but I do. It's my life. I'll live my life. Cheese, and I put sour cream on everything. And when I say everything, Frank's Red Hot sour cream goes on almost all foods I eat. Like this name, always comments. I've been following me for a while. I'm going to butcher your name. Milladel. Man, Pamatmet. I know that's wrong, and I'm sorry. You'll have to help me out sometime on how to say it right. I just moved out of the corner of our uninsulated garage into the attached lean-to shed. Spent the summer insulating and drywalling it. It's 14 by 9. I'm not allowed to grow beyond it if I can help it. That's great, though. You chipped away, improved your space, didn't take out a giant loan to build some fancy shed that only you're going to work in. It's nice to have comforts for yourself, things that make, little things around. That's why I have like some collectibles around, stuff like that. It makes me feel good. That's why I took out the one door and added a window, because some days I want some daylight in there to kind of just feel better. I didn't need it, but I wanted that. And then also in the summer, I could probably put an air conditioner in it. Emily Johnson, born in TC, but lived downstate now. I actually lived in Traverse City for, Mayfield, which you probably know where that's at. Technically, it's not Traverse City, but Traverse City for like 2 years. TRB Collectibles, thank you for answering all my questions today. This has been great. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I enjoy these a lot. I wish I had time to do more of them. But I think there'd be a delineating value, how often can people show up, that kind of thing. But I'll try to squeeze in a midday listing live. I want to start doing it weekly, but I haven't found a schedule that's going to work for that yet. I have very recent GoPro, and it lags out on the live function all the time. Yeah, I've heard that too. I think it's because it's a lot of stuff in a GoPro in a very small area, plus the battery is on top of it. And so, the heat in there, none of that's good. And mine's been overheating bad. So I've had to refilm a couple things. That's never fun. Dark Toy Lord, wife is calling me to come out for supper. Sorry I couldn't stick it out until the end of the stream. Catch you next time. Yeah, I'm also going to be heading out, actually. I'm going to probably wrap it up right here. I'll finish these couple, and then I'm going to have to take off for dinner. I love you guys hanging out. I appreciate it. I was talking with Mikhail from the famous Mikhail Mystery Boxes. He was in the chat earlier. He said, can stick around for a little bit. Reselling, it's a lonely business. Lots of people they do it as a couple. That would be, ideal if you both got along, enjoyed each other's company, and both enjoy doing it. That's ideal. But it can be really, really lonely. It's just you 99% of the time. And so most time I would just talk to the camera, and that gave me some relief, because at least I'm a talker. I don't, you get it? Have you ever noticed? I'm a talker. And so I just never get opportunities to just talk to people. So a camera was a perfect solution, having a YouTube channel. But then this is better because now you actually get to in real time talk back to me. I love it. You got mine right. Enjoy, man. I'll always be around. Now I forgot how I said it. Vikita Gaming. You got mine right. You did great on the Milladel. You did great on the first name, last name, not so much. Yeah. I don't even want to try again. I don't want to insult you or something, but it's Pumatmet. Nope, just gonna make it worse. Furlong pole treasures, curd cheese. That's what goes on poutine. Oh, so I gotta have curds and gravy. There's gravy, right? Are we making poutine wrong in Michigan? I thought it was basically gravy, cheese, and fries was poutine. So we just doing it wrong this whole time? I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. I'm silent. It works well for me. Yeah, if you're a loner, reselling's great. Ozark Treasure Hunts would love to talk to you on the phone sometime. Have lots of info and ideas. How do we connect? I will never talk to you on the phone. And that's not specifically you. I'm not trying to be insulting. I hate talking on the phone. Hate it so much. I despise it. I will, in person, talk forever. Text message, jibber jab all the time. Don't mind it. Talking on the phone, I have to, as you've seen in my videos, in order to talk on a phone, I have to be walking or else my mind just... So if I'm talking on a phone, the entire conversation, I am walking and it gets tiresome. I don't like it. But if you want to reach out to me, best ways are through the Facebook group or through Instagram. Those are the best ways. And I don't check those very often either. I'm very limited on how much I allow myself to check into apps, period. Anytime I add an app, would you like notifications, push notifications? I turn them all off. So even when I get messages on Facebook or anything like that, there's nothing that like alerts me that there's a message. I have to randomly be in there, open it, and then look. Beyond that, I try to distance myself as far as I can. If I didn't do stuff like this, I wouldn't have it. I would have a phone that didn't do anything else. And not because I don't like it. I enjoy it. That's the problem. It sucks you in. It's good at making you want to do it more. That's why I try to avoid it the best I can. TRB collectibles, snip that and make it a short. Which part? Cheese, curds, and gravy. All right. Well, I'm gonna use. I don't got curds on hand, but I got cheese. I'll use some shredded cheese. That was my plan. The Lego bug, no, look at it the other way. The more you schedule these, the more will show up. That's possible. I never want to overdo it. You know, they always say everything is content, but there's a point. To circle back to shed flips, I used to be, and I can't remember who had said it, but I used to be I don't miss a video. I watch every video. If there's a new one, I watch it. But then recently, they made the decision to put out less videos and make them longer. I never finish a video. I watch the first 15 minutes maybe, and then another one comes out and I might get to that one. I just never can. They're 45 minutes minimum. Some of them are over an hour. Even when I'm listing or doing work, because I usually work in silence. I work better. I don't like it, but I work better that way. Mod and Pop Thrift, hate the phone too. Text it up. Yeah, I just don't like talking on the phone. And I come from the era where I did it all the time. Ozark Treasure Hunter, that's funny. Me too. Yeah, if you're around my age or older, the having people like hang up the internet so you could call your friends type of thing. I had my own phone line, but it was the line we used for the internet. So I had my own, but yet somebody was on the computer. I didn't have my own. It was still cool. TRB coach pronounce it. Yeah. Yeah, I should just have a until I get it right. I could clip a bunch of videos of me trying to pronounce it, and then yeah. Oh, it was you that said that. Okay. And TRB coach, I don't miss any of them. Yeah, it's just a lot to commit to a 45-minute video every other day, but to those of you that commit to watching mine, I very much appreciate it. And this has been a fun one. I think Mondays are going to be the day when lives are, but I will put something out ahead of time every single time. I appreciate all of you who have come out. If you haven't, if you can hit the like on the way out, that does actually help out a ton. And I'll see you all in the next one.